Chapter 191 Pass the Assessment. Little guy, if you want to go out, you must pass the assessment and get the inheritance. Otherwise, you will sleep here with me for the rest of your life. As soon as he finished speaking, there was a sudden roar from the mysterious sarcophagus placed in the middle. Rumble. Immediately afterwards, the mysterious sarcophagus lid suddenly popped open, and a powerful divine light spurted out, as spectacular as a volcanic eruption, and instantly condensed into a ferocious giant beast. Ouch! This ferocious beast looks like a tiger, with silver moonlight patterns on its body, and its eyes are like the deep night sky, shining with divine light. As soon as it appeared, it let out a roar towards Feng Haoren and Lan Linger. The sound shook the sky. When the two felt the aura emanating from it, they knew that it had the strength of a demon king. Lan Linger was a little surprised and couldn't help but glance at Feng Haoren, because she could see that Feng Haoren's cultivation was not high. This ferocious beast is so powerful. If you don't have the strength to leapfrog and kill, it will not be easy to pass the examination of these ancient powers. Ouch! Yinhu roared again. The golden light on his body was as bright as a golden sun, and he instantly made a hungry tiger pounce on food, and rushed towards the two people like lightning. Whoosh! Golden Aegis! At the moment when the silver tiger pounced, Lan Linger gave a sweet shout, and a golden divine light shield appeared in front of the two of them, as indestructible as a golden city wall. Dang! Buzz! A deafening sound of metal collision came, because Lan Linger's strength was Dao Monarch 9th layer, which was quite different from Yinhu's strength. This impact directly knocked Lan Linger back, and the shield she used also dissipated. Ouch! Seeing that the two of them were so vulnerable, Yinhu proudly put on a proud posture. When Feng Haoren saw this, a sneer appeared on his face and the corners of his mouth raised slightly. A beast dares to act arrogant in front of me. Whoosh! Before he finished speaking, Feng Haoren's body disappeared from the place like a ghost. When he reappeared, he was already above Yinhu. Sealing heaven finger. Buzz! Following Feng Haoren's command, ripples suddenly appeared in the void, and the invisible transparent energy tightly bound Yinhu like spider threads. Ouch! The silver tiger roared angrily, and kept beating the space barrier that bound it with its thick claws, making a bang-bang sound. Destroying palm. Buzz! Just as Feng Haoren was shouting, a huge palm print appeared out of thin air, rushing towards Silver Tiger with a breath of destruction like a mountain crushing an egg. Boom! Bang! There was a loud explosion, and the remaining power surged through the inheritance room like a stormy wave, hitting the stone wall with a deafening sound. Ouch! Immediately afterwards, Yinhu let out a shrill cry, and his body turned into dots of starlight and dissipated into the void. This scene made Lan Linger's eyes instantly dull. She stared closely at Feng Haoren in the void, with disbelief on her face. Doesn't he only have Dao Monarch 1st layer? Why did he defeat the ferocious beast that even I couldn't shake in just 2 moves? Could it be that this Emperor Monarch of the Heavenly Demon Court is still hiding his own cultivation? Lan Linger's heart was filled with doubts, and she began to wonder if Feng Haoren was hiding his true strength. Haha, is this the so-called inheritance assessment? It's too weak. Feng Haoren slowly fell from the void, his face full of disdain, as if he felt that the inheritance was already at his fingertips. However, just as he was about to walk towards the sarcophagus, the sound that had disappeared before sounded again. Haha, little guys, congratulations on passing the first test. The next step is the real inheritance test. Buzz! As the sound sounded, the surrounding environment suddenly changed drastically. The originally empty room turned into a dense forest, as if in a mysterious world. What's going on? Lan Linger looked at everything around her in shock, her heart filled with fear and uneasiness. Don't worry, this is just an illusion array. Feng Haoren's voice was extremely calm. Let's go and check around to see what the ancient power can do. The two walked into the forest cautiously, only to find that the place was covered with thorns, and there was a dangerous atmosphere around them. It seemed that there were countless ferocious beasts and raptors peeping at them in the dark, which made people's hair stand on end. Hiss! Suddenly, a huge python swooped down from the tree, opened its bloody mouth, and rushed towards them like a hill. Seeing this, Feng Haoren quickly turned sideways to avoid it, and at the same time waved a palm to repel the python. Bang! Careful! When Feng Haoren looked at Lan Linger, he found that the python he had repelled turned around and attacked Lan Linger, and hurriedly shouted a warning. When the latter heard the words, he jumped up, a long sword appeared in his hand, and swung the sword at the python. Buzz! A ray of sword light shot through the air. Pft! The giant python was directly cut into 2 pieces by the sword light. However, more dangers followed. Among the thorn bushes and on the big branches, many venomous snakes of different sizes were galloping towards them. The two kept dodging, but the ground suddenly shook, and then pieces began to collapse. Rumble! In the blink of an eye, a bottomless hole was revealed. Yet, at this time, Lan Linger couldn't avoid it, staggered, and fell directly into the deep hole behind her. When Feng Haoren saw this, his feet trembled, and his figure rushed towards Lan Linger like an arrow from a string, trying to catch her. Hiss! However, at this moment, a poisonous snake came out and bit Feng Haoren on the shoulder. Suddenly, Feng Haoren felt a sense of numbness in his body, and his hands instantly lost strength. Then he and Lan Linger fell into the hole together. Bang! In the dark cave, there was a sound of falling to the ground. Before Feng Haoren was about to hit the ground, he hugged Lan Linger and used his body as a flesh pad. In the black hole, at this moment, Lan Linger was lying on Feng Haoren's chest, and she looked motionlessly at Feng Haoren beneath her. She couldn't help but feel moved in her heart. She never thought that the Emperor Monarch of the Demon Court, whom she had only met a few times, would care so much about her. With a look of worry on his face, he asked in an extremely soft voice. Are you okay? There was a hint of shyness in the voice, and Feng Haoren, who was lying on the ground, closed his eyes slightly and took a deep breath with a look of enjoyment. It smells so good. You, pervert! When Lan Linger heard this, her cheeks instantly turned red with embarrassment. She hurriedly got up from Feng Haoren and straightened her messy hair and clothes. What? Are you shy now? Feng Haoren's words made Lan Linger want to find a crack in the ground and crawl in. Her face was as red as a ripe apple. She knew that she had some beauty and many people favored her, but she had never seen such blatant teasing. However, he didn't seem to be disgusted by his teasing, but, instead, he felt a little bit of expectation. When this thought came to Lan Linger's mind, she became even more confused. What's wrong with me? No, the rise and fall of the family is all on me. I have no right to have an affair between a man and a woman. Just as Lan Linger was thinking wildly, Feng Haoren stood up and sneered. Ha, isn't it just a phantom formation? You still want to trap me? With that said, Feng Haoren held his palm, and the holy demon sword appeared in his hand. Buzz! The violent demonic energy immediately illuminated the entire dark collapsed cave, like a bright pearl, emitting dazzling light. Immediately, Feng Haoren raised the holy demon sword high and shouted loudly, Today, I will break all laws with one force. Whoosh! At this time, the holy demonic sword continued to swallow the original power in the air, like a hungry tiger, greedily devouring its prey. Choke! Broke in. Buzz-hoo! The holy demon sword made a roar, and the sword light cut through the space, galloped out, and directly divided the illusion into two. Rumble! An explosion sounded, and the dense forest and dark deep cave disappeared instantly. In a moment, the two of them returned to their previous inheritance place. At this moment, the wonder in Lan Linger's heart became even stronger. What kind of cultivation level does he have? He was able to slay a ferocious beast with the Demon King's cultivation level with his bare hands in just 2 moves. And that shocking blow just now was at least as strong as the Hongmeng Demon Emperor, but he was clearly only the Demon Emperor's cultivation level. Yes, he must have hidden his cultivation. Haha. You are very good at being able to cross 2 great realms and break through the illusory formation of our holy Emperor Tiankai. Little guy. Congratulations, you have passed the assessment and can obtain the inheritance of this deity. However, there is only 1 copy of this inheritance, and there are 2 of you in the inheritance hall, so, who should I give it to? As soon as the master of the inheritance hall finished speaking, Feng Haoran and Lan Linger frowned slightly and looked at each other. Chapter 192 There is no inheritance. Then, who should I give it to? After the Holy Emperor Tiankai finished speaking, Feng Haoran and Lan Linger looked at each other. The latter spoke softly without a trace of greed in his eyes. Your Highness Emperor Monarch, this inheritance room assessment was completed by you alone, so the inheritance will naturally belong to you. After Feng Haoran heard this, he couldn't help but let out a sneer. Tisk, it's just a powerful inheritance. I don't like it yet. You go and get it. This. Your Highness Emperor Monarch, this inheritance Linger has never done anything, so it shouldn't belong to me, or you. What? Do you think that with my strength, I can't get other inheritances? Before Lan Linger finished speaking, Feng Haoran interrupted. She couldn't figure out why he was so humble. This was the inheritance of ancient powers. Seeing Feng Haoran's eyes, Lan Linger dodged a little because she didn't want to involve her emotions. However, she does need a strong inheritance, after all, she will lead the entire spiritual race to the top in the future. So, Lan Linger plucked up the courage and looked directly at Feng Haoran. It could be seen from his handsome face and eyes that no other emotional interests were involved. For the future of the family, I can only accept Feng Haoran's kindness. In this case, Linger would rather be respectful than obey your orders. As she said that, she floated to the side of the sarcophagus like a light butterfly. Lan Linger stretched out her jade hand and gently placed it on the sarcophagus. Buzzing! In an instant, an ancient and mysterious power emerged like a raging tide and flowed into her body along her arms. Her body was trembling slightly, her face became pale, but her eyes became firmer. With the infusion of power, Lan Linger felt as if her soul was connected to some great existence, and countless knowledge and skills poured into her mind like a flood that broke a dam. Moreover, the power of inheritance continued to cleanse his body, and a divine light appeared outside his body. Buzzing! Even her cultivation level is constantly improving, and now she has faintly broken through to the realm of Tao King. Click! However, at this time, a crisp sound came from her body, which was the sound of breaking through the realm. Buzz! After an unknown amount of time passed, Lan Linger slowly opened her eyes after the inheritance finally ended, with surprise shining in her eyes. She felt that her strength had improved, and more importantly, at this time, she was more confident in leading her family to the top in the future. Seeing that her inheritance had been completed, Feng Haoran couldn't help but smile. He guessed that this inheritance should be of great significance to Lan Linger. I must be extremely grateful to him in my heart, and even, coupled with his previous help, it is very likely that he has a deep affection for himself. In this way, if Yi Wei Yuan wants to get Lan Linger, there is basically no chance. When he thought of this, the corners of his mouth could not help but rise slightly, revealing an evil intention. It seems that I can witness the birth of a eunuch in this cultivator world. Thank you, His Highness Emperor Monarch. Lan Linger said sincerely, with a hint of shyness on her face unconsciously. Haha, then how do you thank me? Feng Haoran had a provocative look on his face, and Lan Linger immediately didn't know what to say. Seeing his appearance, Feng Haoran burst into laughter. Haha! I'm just teasing you. I don't ask for much, but do you need to stop being so public about what you call me? Hearing this, Lan Linger's shy face showed a hint of nervousness, her head lowered, like a child who had made a mistake. Then what should I call you? Feng Haoran held his arms with one hand and touched the tip of his nose with the other, pretending to think, but his eyes were looking at her wantonly. Why don't you call me by my first name? It will make you appear more cordial. When Lan Linger heard this, she immediately raised her head and met Feng Haoran's eyes. The two looked at each other for a moment. The shy Lan Linger lowered her head again and murmured softly like a mosquito. Haoran. Feng Haoran smiled slyly and pretended not to hear clearly. Hey? What did you say? Feng Haoran. Lan Linger seemed to know that he was deliberately teasing her, so she called out his full name louder. Rumble. Just when Feng Haoran was feeling proud, there was a sudden roar from the inheritance secret room. Buzz. Then, with a flash of white light, the two of them were teleported directly from the secret room. In the stone pillar forest, there is another huge stone pillar, and Wu Yuan is inside it. At this time, he was holding a long sword and was constantly killing ferocious beasts like snow wolves. Ouch! Snow wolves and ferocious beasts kept flying away, their steel-like claws trying to tear Yi Wu Yuan into pieces. Ding-ling bang bang! Yi Wu Yuan pushed back the attacking snow wolf beast and took the opportunity to rest. He kept breathing heavily and looked at the dozens of snow wolves surrounding him with a wary expression. Damn it, what kind of inheritance is this? There are such terrifying wolves. Awu! Suddenly, among the wolves, a wolf king, who was stronger and taller than the other snow wolves, gave the order to attack. Ouch! The one with the special code is here again. As the saying goes, to catch the thief first, catch the king, then I will kill you. Yi Wu Yuan's eyes were like poisonous snakes, staring at the wolf king. As he continued to dodge and avoid the snow wolves that were flying towards him, the long sword in his hand was also waving, and the sword light was surging everywhere. Boo-hoo, bang bang! Many snow wolves were knocked back by the sword light, and Yi Wu Yuan finally came to the wolf king and sneered. Beast, let's die! Buzz-hoo! Yi Wu Yuan flew up and swung his sword at the wolf king, and terrifying power appeared in the sky with the light of the sword. Ouch! When the wolf king saw this, he grinned, his sharp fangs exposed, and saliva kept dripping from the corners of his mouth. Then, the wolf king opened his mouth, and a stream of ice power shot out from his mouth, condensing into several ice cones in the void. Whoosh! These ice cones were like ice swords, flying towards Yi Wu Yuan, with such force that they directly penetrated the air layer. Bang bang! The ice cone and the sword light collided together, making a violent roar. However, at this moment, Yi Wu Yuan's figure flashed, like a ghost, directly above the wolf king. A look of pride appeared on his face, and then he saw the divine light on his body rising greatly. Kylan steps on the sky. Buzz ouch! Yi Wu Yuan raised his leg and stepped on the air. A unicorn shadow appeared, and terrifying coercion emanated from its body. Buzz! The body of the wolf king below suddenly sank, and when he raised his head, a fierce light was revealed. Its forehooves were slightly bent to the ground, and then it kicked hard with its front hooves, and its body rushed towards Yi Wu Yuan like an arrow off the string. Humph! Well done, one step, to control the mountains and rivers. Buzz, SSSSSS. Boom! The wolf king had just charged forward, but before it reached the same height as Yi Wu Yuan, the hooves of the unicorn shadow suddenly stepped on it. The terrifying power, like Mount Tai pressing down on an egg, directly shook the wolf king and flew backwards. The speed was as fast as lightning, directly penetrating the space layer, and then there was an earth-shaking loud noise. Bang! The sword breaks the sky. Yi Wu Yuan took advantage of the victory to pursue, holding the long sword high in his hand, and fell down like a meteor. A huge sword shadow was like a mountain, directly charging towards the wolf king below. Rumble. There was an explosion, and dust and smoke billowed below, rising like a torrent, and then the wolves stopped moving. A group of ants dare to stop this palace from seizing the inheritance. It's really a waste of my time. Congratulations, you passed the test and can obtain the inheritance of my Ice Emperor. Chapter 193 The Geniuses Gather Together. In the ancient tombs of the gods, many of the geniuses have already received their first inheritance. Of course, there are also several geniuses who unfortunately died in the inheritance stone pillar. When entering the inheritance stone pillar before, because it was the first time, everyone knew nothing about it, and the inheritance they received was not suitable for them at all. However, when they came out this time, many geniuses were constantly searching among the stone pillars, hoping to find a powerful and suitable inheritance. Hey? That's... At this time, a genius saw a stone pillar in the distance exuding a murderous aura. Even though it was thousands of miles away, it still made him feel terrified. Moreover, this stone pillar was still in the center, and there was nothing around it for hundreds of meters. Buzz! The stone pillars were constantly emitting bloody divine light, and the bloody light kept wandering in this space. Except for a few of the countless stone pillars in the center that glowed with divine light, the rest were eclipsed. This inheritance within the stone pillar must belong to a powerful person. Tianjiao was so excited that he hurried towards the stone pillar. Haha, this inheritance is mine. Just as the prodigy was flying, suddenly, a thunderbolt appeared in another direction, streaking through the void like lightning. Mu Tengfei, you are seeking death. The inheritance of great power is achieved through personal ability. Yu Yuming, the only one to blame is your own lack of strength. The genius named Mu Tengfei was the first to rush to the inheritance stone pillar. Just when he was about to touch it, a charming voice came. Since it relies on strength, then, this inheritance belongs to me. Whoosh! Suddenly, several red damasks bloomed like lotus flowers, and with a sharp killing intent, they rushed toward the curtain like poisonous snakes. Hey! It's you, Yan Qingxuang! As soon as Mu Tengfei finished speaking, a beautiful figure wearing a red gauze dress came to the edge of the bloody stone pillar with her feet on red silk. She has an alluring appearance, her skin is as white as jade, her eyebrows are as thin as silk, the vermilion on her lips is as crystal clear as gems, and her eyes are flickering, adding to her mysterious charm. She smiled charmingly, like a silver bell. Haha, isn't it just me? Why, I want to take this inheritance. Do you have any objections? You guessed it right, I have a very strong opinion. Whoosh! Before Yu Yuming and Mu Tengfei could speak, suddenly, another figure came from a distance. The three of them were suddenly shocked. Mu Tengfei felt the person's aura and blurted out. Yi Weiyuan, the young emperor of the God clan, has actually reached the Hongmeng Dao King realm. What are you afraid of? They are all geniuses who are in charge of power from all walks of life. The worst is that the three of us will join forces. Yan Qingxuang was suspended beside the stone pillar, seemingly unafraid and unfazed. Join forces? Yan Qingxuang, you can give it a try and see who will win this inheritance. Yi Weiyuan appeared in the air at this time, exuding an extremely powerful aura, his eyes were cold and firm. Facing the three people joining forces, he showed no fear. When Mu Tengfei saw this, he gritted his teeth. He knew that the situation in front of him was not good for him. Even if the three of them join forces as Yan Qingxuang said, even if they win, the inheritance may not be theirs. Because if he wanted to compete with Yan Qingxuang, it was still unknown who would win and who would lose. But if we don't join forces, we can only watch helplessly, and this powerful inheritance will be lost. When I think that I came here first, how can I give up the inheritance so easily? Immediately, he decided to take a risk and looked up at Yu Yuming not far away. After making eye contact, the two nodded. Whoosh! The two of them jumped up at the same time, performing their own unique skills and attacking Yi Wei Yuan. Buzz, buzz, buzz. For a time, there was a storm in the ancient tombs of the gods, the sky changed suddenly, and the energy surged. However, Wei Yuan had a look of contempt on his face, and a sneer came from his mouth. You ants who don't know whether to live or die. As soon as he finished speaking, he just waved his sleeves gently. Hey! A powerful divine light shot out, dispelling Mu Tengfei's attacks and making them invisible. Bang! Aha! The two men let out a scream and were blown away. But Yi Wei Yuan didn't pay attention to the two of them at all. Instead, he walked towards Yan Qingshuang step by step, with a cold glint in his eyes. When Yan Qingshuang saw him walking slowly, her heart suddenly tightened. She didn't expect Yi Wei Yuan to be so powerful. But she was unwilling to back down and mobilized all her strength to prepare for Yi Wei Yuan's attack. At this moment, a sudden change occurred, and a huge figure jumped from a distance like a mountain. At the same time, that rich and powerful voice sounded like thunder in the stone pillar forest. Yi Wei Yuan, there are no tigers in the mountain. Do you want a monkey to be the king? Yi Wei Yuan raised his eyes and saw that a body of more than 10 feet tall fell in front of him in the blink of an eye. When he saw the appearance of the visitor clearly, he couldn't help but curse in his heart. Damn it, how did this idiot pass the first inheritance? Because the one who came was Yuan Potion. Although he could not practice Demon Dao's method, his physical strength was extremely powerful. Even Yi Wei Yuan, the current Dao King's second layer, might not be able to defeat him. To expect him to hand over his inheritance so easily is not his behavior as a blue star transmigrator. After all, in his heart, his soul was reborn, and he had a system and a proper destiny. As Hung Men's destiny, how could he surrender without fighting? Moreover, destiny has an immortal destiny. At worst, he could use the time of the battle to attract the newly emerged geniuses, triggering a fight among them, while he would slowly consume the physical strength of this demonic ape. Humph! Yuan Potion, are you so sure that you can defeat me? Whether it succeeds or not will be known in one battle. Yuan Potion is a militant. Before he finished speaking, he raised a fist and stabbed Yi Wei Yuan. Buzz buzz! Wherever the punch passed, the air was squeezed and whirred, as if the space was to be torn apart. Yi Wei Yuan saw a huge fist attacking him, in order to save the power of the original Taoism in his body. As he waved his hand, a long sword appeared in his hand, lying in front of him like a steel wall, indestructible. Ding! A crisp iron sound came, like a yellow bell, deafening. Because Yuan Potion's strength was too great, Yi Wei Yuan was directly shaken and flew backwards. Its figure drew a horizontal line in the void, like a meteor streaking across the sky. When he stabilized his body, his hands kept shaking, his eyes slightly wrinkled, and he looked at him in disbelief. Damn it, his strength has grown to this extent. No, it seems that you can't use the drag technique, you can only use the previous inheritance magic skill, otherwise, this inheritance really has nothing to do with you. Yi Wei Yuan made a decisive decision. He put away his long sword, pinched the magic formula with both hands, and kept changing ancient gestures like a butterfly piercing a flower. Buzz! In an instant, a silver ancient formation appeared, after Yi Wei Yuan continued to transmit the power of the original Taoism. Whoosh! Suddenly, a burst of divine light shot up into the sky, and then Yi Wei Yuan shouted loudly. Unparalleled ice flame! Chi! A ray of ice light exuded blue flames, jetting out from the formation like an arrow from a string, shooting straight into the sky. Upon seeing this, the latter crossed his fists and stood in front of him like an iron wall. Boom! Shi! The icy blue light directly hit Yuan Potion's arms, freezing his arms at a speed visible to the naked eye, and it was still spreading rapidly. Yi Wei Yuan, you are looking for death. Dang lang! Yuan Potion shook his fists, like a diamond's angry eyes, directly shattering the ice in his hands. Then he stepped out with one foot, leaped up, and swung his fist up again like a rock spreading its wings. On the other side, Feng Haoran and Lan Linger were among the first batch because they were the first to enter. After the two of them came out, they kept looking for the second inheritance. However, after looking at many stone pillars, I still couldn't find a suitable inheritance for me. At this moment, fierce fighting sounds came from behind, and after the roar, the two of them looked at the same time. Feng Haoran raised the corners of his mouth slightly and let out a chuckle. Hee hee. It seems that a powerful inheritance has appeared in the depths. Let's go, and join in the fun. If you're enjoying this content, please make sure to like and subscribe Chinese Novel Audiowave. Chapter 194 Feng Haoran takes action. Bang! In the ancient tombs of the gods, an explosion sounded, like a thunderbolt from the blue. Powerful forces collided, forming a ripple in the void that continued to spread out like ripples. This was emitted from the battle between Yi Weiyuan and Yuan Potion, and all the talented people watching the battle were shocked by this power. Ah! Is this the strength of Hongmeng Dao King? Unexpectedly, Yi Weiyuan can actually fight Yuan Potion to such an extent. Yi Weiyuan is also in the realm of Tao King now, and Yuan Potion's physical combat power is also in the same realm. The two of them are indistinguishable. No. Yuan Potion hasn't gone crazy yet. If he enters a violent state, I'm afraid Weiyuan won't be his opponent. What? A genius who was familiar with Yuan Potion's combat prowess said this, and the faces of the other geniuses showed a look of shock. At this time, Yi Weiyuan could only dodge awkwardly in the void, while Yuan Potion could not stay in the air for a long time. Fortunately, he was tall and could hit the ground from time to time. Although he could not be seriously injured, it still forced him to dodge again and again. Damn it, this savage monkey, despite its huge size, is so flexible. Yi Weiyuan, who kept dodging, roared in his heart. He had already spent most of his strength by using the ancient inheritance. If he had a head-to-head confrontation with Yuan Potion at this time, he would definitely lose. Therefore, seeing the ferocious attack, he had no choice but to dodge cleverly in order to find an opportunity to deliver a fatal blow. Ouch! When Yuan Potion saw that Yi Weiyuan was always dodging and unable to hit anyone, he was so angry that he roared like an enraged lion. Yi Weiyuan, is this all you can do? You always avoid me like a mouse, but you have the ability to strike me head-on. When Yi Weiyuan saw this, he was secretly happy. He was waiting for this moment when Yuan Potion would be angry and relax his vigilance. Whoosh! Under Yuan Potion's casual attack, he pretended to be exhausted and his movements became sluggish. Seeing this, Yuan Potion thought an opportunity was coming, raised the corners of his mouth slightly, and let out a disdainful sneer. Humph! Yi Weiyuan, let's see where you run. After saying that, Yuan Potion pounced on Yi Weiyuan like a hungry tiger. Buzz! Just when the two were about to collide, Yi Weiyuan's body suddenly disappeared. Whoosh! The next moment, he appeared behind Yuan Potion like a ghost and swung his sword with all his strength. Buzz-hoo! This sword was like a dragon coming out of the sea, with majestic momentum, and struck Yuan Potion hard on the back. Bang! Ouch! Yuan Potion, who was in pain, let out a miserable scream, then flew out like a kite with its string broken, and fell heavily on the ground. His huge body fell, instantly raising grey dust. The talented people watching the battle were stunned. No one expected that the situation would reverse in an instant. The situation that Yuan Potion was expected to win was unexpectedly defeated by Yi Weiyuan's sword. Yuan Potion, how can the inheritance that this palace values be obtained by an orc like you who only has brute strength? Yi Weiyuan was suspended in the void like an immortal, his voice full of provocation. Then, he didn't care about Yuan Potion's situation and walked on leisurely in front of many geniuses. Just when everyone thought that the inheritance of this stone pillar must be in Yi Weiyuan's bag, a voice came from the void. Roar! Everyone heard the sound and looked, a white ferocious beast fluttering its wings, with two people standing on its back. They are Feng Haoran and Lan Linger, who came from the stone pillar forest that they just entered. When Feng Haoran arrived, he felt that the stone pillar was exuding a huge murderous aura and bloody light, and knew that it was something special. So, he said loudly, "I want the inheritance here." After the geniuses saw who it was, they all couldn't help but take a few steps back. When Yi Weiyuan looked at Lan Linger beside Feng Haoran, his heart sank. Hey? Why does Lan Linger stay with him? Could it be, no, this is impossible, she must be mine. Bai Ziyi was suspended in the void, and Feng Haoran stood with his hands behind his hands, overlooking the genius below. Feng Haoran, you are the Emperor Monarch of the Demon Court, do you want to use your power to bully others? This is the ancient battlefield, the tomb of the gods, not the outside world. If you want to obtain inheritance, it all depends on personal opportunity and strength. We have been fighting desperately for so long, how can we let you come and take advantage of us? Yi Weiyuan was unwilling to give up this inheritance, especially in front of Lan Linger. If he gives in, then Lan Linger will have no chance with him, and he will become an unprecedented cultivator eunuch. He didn't think that the system was joking with him. After all, in previous novels, he had seen punishments for protagonists who failed to complete system tasks. Therefore, for the sake of his own sexual happiness, he decided to compete with Feng Haoran. Oh, opportunity and strength? According to you, among these geniuses, only you are qualified to get it. Feng Haoran's voice was low and he glanced at Yi Weiyuan. Hearing this, the latter looked up at Feng Haoran with a look of pride on his face. I dare not say that I am invincible among the geniuses in Hongmeng, but here, after several battles, I am the winner, so, as long as I defeat you, I can get this inheritance? Yes or no? Before Yi Weiyuan could finish speaking, Feng Haoran spoke, and his cold words disrupted his thoughts. Originally, Yi Weiyuan wanted to say that this inheritance was his, but he didn't expect that he actually wanted to challenge himself. But in front of Lan Linger, he couldn't refuse. Besides, he had just said that he had obtained it through strength. Since he wants to challenge, he can only accept it. If you defeat this palace, it will only mean that this palace will not be able to enjoy it. But whether others want to challenge you is not something that this palace can decide. Feng Haoran heard the implication between his words. This Yi Weiyuan was still looking for a way out for himself. His intention is obvious. If he is defeated, he can also instigate others to fight against him. However, it depends on whether he has the ability. Very good, I don't care whether others challenge you, but for you, I only need one sword. If you can accept it unscathed, I would rather give up this inheritance. Okay, this is what you said. Hey! Yi Weiyuan was secretly proud in his heart. He was the second layer of Dao King, while the opponent was Dao Monarch. If you can't even catch his sword, how can you talk about being a proud man? So, he jumped up and reached the same height as Feng Haoran. Please draw your sword. As everyone watched the two men about to confront each other, they couldn't help but be shocked by Yi Weiyuan's courage. This Yi Weiyuan is really not afraid of death. He actually dares to compete with Emperor Monarch for inheritance. Is the young Emperor of the God clan crazy? Even the Emperor Monarch dares to provoke him. So what if he wins Emperor Monarch of the Demon Court? Even if he can get the inheritance, isn't he afraid of suffering revenge from the Demon Court after he leaves? In the void, Feng Haoran couldn't help but reveal a mocking smile when he saw him coming so confidently 100 meters away from him. Then you have to be careful. Chapter 195 Ancestor Sticks. Then you have to be careful. Feng Haoran waved his hand, and a holy demon sword filled with demonic energy appeared in his hand. The blade of the sword shone with a cold light, as if it was a demon sword rising from hell. The violent aura, like a ferocious giant beast, made everyone feel a sense of fear. Ah! What level of sword is this? Is it a Dao weapon or an ancestor weapon? A magic sword with such terrifying power should have reached the level of a spiritual treasure. Emperor Monarch has this sword in his hand. It's hard to say who will win and who will lose. As expected of Emperor Monarch of the Demon Court, the magic weapons used are actually at the level of spiritual treasures. Just when the geniuses were secretly guessing about winning or losing, Feng Haoren's body suddenly shook. Buzz! Powerful magic light spurted out from his body, like a volcano erupting, and then continued to pour into the holy demon sword. Choke buzz! The holy demon sword suddenly made a clear sword cry, like a dragon roaring and a tiger roaring, resounding throughout the world. Then, he slowly raised his hand and struck down with his sword towards the place where Yi Wei Yuan was. Buzz who? Shishi, Wei Yu. As soon as the holy demon sword came out, the color of the world changed, as if the whole world was shaken by this energy that destroyed the heaven and the earth. The energy swaying from the sword was like a raging torrent, carrying endless killing intent and destructive aura, and turned into a killing sword light that broke through the void. Wherever the sword light passed, there were bursts of roars, and even the space in the ancient tombs of the gods actually had scratches under the sword light. When Yi Wei Yuan saw such a terrifying sword light coming towards him, he felt a sense of panic in his heart. No. That's too sloppy, damn Feng Haoren, the magic sword in his hand is actually a treasure. Moreover, although he seems to have only the cultivation level of Dao Monarch first layer, his real strength is probably not weaker than ours. What kind of mission did the system give me? If I hadn't taken down the mission of Lan Linger, our palace wouldn't have gotten into trouble with the behemoth of the demon court so early. Now, how can we resist such a devastating attack? System, hurry up and think of a solution for me. If it's too late, you and I will be dead. Ding! This system recommends that the host give up the inheritance. After all, saving your life first is the key. What do you think I need to say? But what can I do to save my life now? Ding! I'm afraid the host has forgotten that there is still a strong demon ancestor in the system space. Ha, yet. This palace almost forgot about him, all we need to do is summon ancestor sticks out. So, who else is the opponent of these little Karami? The inheritance is still mine. System, release ancestor sticks. As soon as he said it, before Yi Wei Yuan finished speaking, the destructive sword light appeared in front of him. Buzz! Just when everyone thought that Yi Wei Yuan was about to be split in half by the powerful sword light, a bloody light suddenly appeared from his body. Boom! The destruction sword light collided with a bloody light that appeared in Yi Wei Yuan's body, and the void suddenly shook. The dazzling burst of golden light made everyone present dare not look at each other directly. Ah! What happened? This aura is the realm of the Hongmeng demon ancestor. How is that possible? Does Yi Wei Yuan still have some hidden clumsiness? After a while, the shaking in the void gradually calmed down, and the golden light also dissipated. When everyone looked into the void again, a man wearing a red gold patterned robe and a resolute face appeared in front of Yi Wei Yuan. He was suspended in the void, his hair was flowing, his robes were fluttering, and his eyes were looking directly at Feng Haoren. When the latter saw his appearance, he couldn't help but sigh in his heart. This is the ancestor of Styx who is said to never dry up in the sea of blood and the immortal river in the past life. He really has some strength. No wonder everyone in his previous life said that he could rank in the top 3 among the saints. Haha! Feng Haoren, you lost! Yi Wei Yuan laughed wildly, shouting at Feng Haoren without caring about his face. What? This Yi Wei Yuan is too shameless. He actually let the powerful demon ancestor take action. Hey? Didn't it mean that such a strong person cannot enter the ancient battlefield? Why can he bring such a strong person? Yes. Isn't this cheating? With such a powerful person existing, don't these inheritances all belong to his divine clan? Yi Wei Yuan, you actually cheated and secretly brought the powerful demon ancestor into the ancient battlefield. Aren't you afraid of being suppressed by hundreds of realms? That's right, Yi Weiyuan, tell me honestly how you brought these people in, otherwise, we will definitely join forces to target you. Facing the questions from many geniuses, Yi Weiyuan didn't take them seriously at all. Haha, join forces to suppress it. If the gods of this temple get all the inheritance here, will they still be afraid of Beija? The appearance of Ancestor Minghe doubled Yi Weiyuan's confidence without any scruples. Ah, this. As soon as his words came out, the geniuses present felt timid. After all, they had powerful demon ancestors around them. If Yi Weiyuan is forced into a hurry, I am afraid that none of them will be able to leave the ancient battlefield alive. Moreover, what he said is not unreasonable. If the inheritance here really falls into the God clan, there will really be no way to compete with it in the 100 realms. In the entire Holy Demon Continent, the only one who can truly compete with the Tianyi realm is the Demon Court. Therefore, the geniuses all turned their attention to Feng Haoran, wanting to see how he would respond. When Feng Haoran saw everyone looking at him, he couldn't help but sneer. Humph! Yi Weiyuan, do you think that with him by your side, you can control the entire inheritance land? Otherwise? Even if you possess a treasure, you may not have the ability to face the powerful demon ancestor. Yi Weiyuan's face was arrogant and his words were full of contempt. At this time, he didn't take Feng Haoran, the emperor monarch of the demon court, seriously at all. Then, his eyes moved slightly and fell on Lan Linger, who had not spoken. Linger, come here quickly, don't you want to lead the spiritual clan to the top? As long as you are willing to stay with me, I can give you whatever inheritance you want here. Hearing this, Lan Linger glanced at Feng Haoran, and then opened her mouth slightly. Yi Weiyuan, if you do this, it is impossible for our spirit clan to associate with you. Even if you have him by your side now and can control the inheritance of this place, I, Lan Linger, will never fall in love with you. When Yi Weiyuan heard this, his heart trembled, a chill flashed in his eyes, and a sneer came from the corner of his mouth. Haha, Lan Linger, do you think that joining the demon court will lead to the rise of the spiritual race? Let me tell you, he is just interested in your skin. Even if you are married to the demon court, you are just someone else's lackey, and you will never be able to bring the spirit clan to its peak. Only this palace can bring your clan back to its peak. Feng Haoran stepped forward with a slight smile on his face and said to Yi Weiyuan. Who gave you the confidence to say this? I tell you, even if you don't use the power of the demon court, you are still nothing in my eyes. Yi Weiyuan smiled disdainfully and said, it's just you? Now that I have a strong demon ancestor by my side, do you think you have a chance of winning? Feng Haoran raised the holy demon sword in his hand, you will know after you try it. The reason why he has confidence comes from Tai in the Palace of Nothingness. Ancestor Styx looked at the two people in front of him, with a flash of interest in his eyes. Boy, you are interesting, but in front of me, all resistance is in vain. Having said that, Ancestor Minghe waved his hand, and a bloody shock wave swept towards Feng Haoran like a blood dragon with its teeth and claws. Whoosh! Feng Haoran saw this, and just when he was about to raise the holy demon sword and test his limit, a roar came from the ground. Ouch! Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audiowave to stay updated with our latest stories. And never miss out on a great listen.